Have you ever sustained a shock in your life from which you feel you never fully recovered? Perhaps a car accident, the death of a friend or a pet, or a serious injury. Jill Kuykendall's life's work is helping people recover those lost parts of themselves with an ancient practice called soul retrieval. In her former career, she was a physical therapist who worked with the most fragile of us, people getting out of bed for the first time after surgery or an accident. One day, her life changed when she began seeing another force surrounding them. Today, she facilitates one beautiful reunion after another. Can you give us a couple more examples? Just everybody loves to hear stories, so we can relate to ourselves in it, that have been particularly profound to you.
Yes, I've done over 3,000 soul retrievals, and I do keep case studies on each one, and the way in which it unfolds, it allows me to stay connected to the story, and yet there's a process at the end of the session in which I'm literally lifted out of the direct experience, and I'm not afforded a lot of recall of all the details.
I understand.
And that creates confidentiality for the person. But I have had some extraordinary incidents, and just to give a little of a preliminary of this is that I was approached by a mother and her 19-year-old daughter, and she was a single mom, had raised this girl. They were very close. Their closeness was now getting in the way of the daughter moving on and being her own person. And they felt as if there was some soul loss that had gone on during their troubled past, and as well as the absence of the father and emotional neediness. And they really wanted to both experience retrieval. Those sessions occurred, and they're very happy with where they proceeded. But I want to tell you something interesting that occurred in the preliminary phase. Because I just don't stop, drop, and go and get a soul part. I actually first shift and make connection with the local nature spirits. And there are many more of them than they are manifested, although we live in this extraordinary place, being that it has, well, it's the second largest urban forest on the planet.
Yes.
And so I'm lucky in that I draw upon the tree spirits and the plant and animal spirits. And along with that, there is a small cluster of Native American spirits that come up from a creek area not far from my office when they hear the drumming begin. And they contribute by making a circle around me and the person. Walls and asphalt have disappeared in my visionary state, and they look to enhance, in a preliminary way, just the setting in which I'm doing this work, this sacredness of this, the enhanced sense of support. And they will, in fact, focus their energy on the person and extend to them sometimes either a prayer or a chant or a gift. And all of this is the protocol that leads then into doing the retrieval. When the young woman came, the daughter came, and we had our chance to share, I'm at this point in the journey, the preliminary phase, when the Native Americans come and they bring a one-person canoe.
Oh.
And they put it right next to her. And immediately I'm thinking, this is the invitation for her to get in her own canoe, symbolic as it is.
Absolutely.
Now, and begin her own journey. But they weren't done. They started filling the canoe with yams. Now, this is very typical of seeing something in a journey in which it's very symbolic. You don't know what it means. And so you just allow your observation to hold on to it. When the canoe was fully filled, they stopped and they maintained their composure, and I went right into the journey. And when I shared with her about the journey afterwards, I said, let me start with how it began. And I told her about the canoe and the yams. I said, boy, I don't know what that's about. I sure hope you like yams. And she started to cry. And I said, you don't like yams? She said, you would not have known this, but when my mother and I are in public, and we're either saying goodbye to each other or we're greeting each other, we say yams. And I said, you do? And she said, yes, it stands for you are my sunshine.
If you feel something's missing, you won't want to miss this one. Just go to ConsciousMediaNetwork.com for the full interview.